Well, you'd better cut down a little then. Sorry? Well, you'd better cut down a little then. Yeah, this is following on from the last one, if you get it. And I just wanted to say a couple of things that are kind of left out by mistake, or I don't have a script. I just, obviously. And I tend to go down avenues and not come back out. So I'm sure you know what it's like, but my dad. I just wanted to say this because flat Earth. What I mean, I don't know whether my dad thought the Earth was flat, or he knew the Earth was flat, but one thing that really annoyed me about him, and I would love to talk to him about this again, but he, when I was a small child, 7, 8, there were even before that, I think even when I went to school for the first time, so it would be around 1969, 70, around that time, PG Tips, a famous brand of tea, certainly in the UK, they were giving away free, they included in the tea, and it was a loose tea then, and it was, tasted very good. They were giving away cards, and these cards had dinosaurs on them, and you could get a big like world map if you sent away, sending some tokens or whatever. And I encouraged my mum to do this because I was really into them at primary school, and I was into them, very much so. And then when I was 6, we moved to the pub, and I continued my fascination. I got books, and I was forever reading about them, and I wanted to be a paleontologist when I grew up. But I remember my dad coming in one time, and I was reading one of these books, and I must have been 8 or something. And I know I was 8 because we were having some alterations done, and I remember that Christmas, and anyway, I do remember me being 8. And one of the best things that you could do for your son is to encourage him in his career choices. Maybe maybe not if he wants to join the army. I don't know. It's up to you, of course. But when I told him that I wanted to get to, I didn't use the word paleontologist then. I might add, I wasn't a precocious little twat. I just said I want to dig up dinosaur bones when I grow up. I want to be a fireman. A fireman. No. I didn't want to be a fireman. And my dad just, he just completely slapped me down by telling me this. He said, dinosaurs are a lie. They don't exist. They're for entertainment for people like you. Now, I was absolutely mortified, but I didn't believe him, because what did he know about it? There's books. Books don't lie. I never thought the written word would lie to me at that age. I knew the difference between comics and a reference book and a Enid Blyton story. You do. But this, to me, was real. Now, I know that my dad, he wasn't a religious man, never went to church, chapel. He was chapel, but he never went there. But he knew, I'm not saying he was like the oracle or something, but he was a wise man without letting it show, and that's a real skill. I'm just the opposite, obviously, to him. But he said to me when I questioned him, he said that some friend of his son, had gone to do gone on to do what I wanted to do, I suppose, be a paleontologist, but he hadn't got that far, but that's where he was heading. And this was, well, obviously in the 60s, sometime in the 60s. And he had dropped out, and he said it was all a load of rubbish. Now, I don't know whether my dad had got his information from there. I don't know. But my dad was insistent that they didn't exist, they were made up, and he said, "Don't be so daft, don't be so daft." Just anyway, he told it to me in a way that was very frank. Not it didn't he didn't cushion the blow, if you like. He just told me outright. Oh, it was a fond or whatever, and then he told me why. And then I said, "How do you know?" And then he said, "Well, this fella." I didn't actually really discuss it with him since, and I did kind of lose interest. I mean, Jurassic Park, of course, I watched it, but I didn't think that they didn't exist when I watched it. But I never forgot my dad and him telling me that, and most insistently, that they were made up rubbish. And they certainly were. If you know that the story of those concrete ones, I think they still exist in the some kind of park or other in, I think it's on the outskirts of London, in the London area. And none of them, they said, "Oh, none of these exist. These are just made up ones." Right. And it turns out, actually, none of them exist. No full skeleton has ever been found. So dinosaurs were first created by some guy who found a tooth, a big tooth, in a river, maybe a riverbed or something like that. Now, big teeth. Have you ever seen the teeth that come out of sperm whales? And then you've got big predators on a downward scale from that in the sea, in the oceans. So big teeth aren't anything to be anything out of the ordinary. But if you build a whole monster around them, then that is. And that's what they did. And it turned out that my drug dealer dad was right. And it's just another way to make us accept the ball. That's what it is. They have to extinguish or execute all almost all life on Earth by a huge rock hitting Earth, hitting the spinning ball Earth, to make their space real. This is what it all is. So dinosaurs are just bullshit, and the past, that far back, the millions and, well, the billions, that's just bullshit. It just, to me, it's it may be like an Etch-a-Sketch, where you can just shake it and it all sort of starts again. I couldn't really discount that as an idea, but as far as massive rocks coming from outer space, no. I've got lots of problems with that, outer space being one of them. So dinosaurs, they keep finding them in China, but they're making them in China. It actually says on them "made in China" if you look closely enough. No, I don't know whether it does, but if you ever go to a place, a museum or whatever, where a dinosaur is on display, of course it'll just be the bones. It won't be a real one, but it won't be the real bones, because you ask, and they'll say, "Oh no, they're safely tucked away. This is just a copy made out of plaster of Paris or some kind of resin or whatever." But sorry, to get back to the original point, but you ask them, if you're ever in a museum or anything, if you ask them, "Is this a real one?" they'll say no. If they're not lying anyway, they'll say no. But to get back to the point, if not one dinosaur skeleton has ever been found, and the teeth that were found first of all, a huge monster was built around that tooth, or the teeth. I think it was just one or two. And imaginations let run riot. And then they created all this concrete nonsense in this park. And that was so the children and the adults, no doubt, could, well, the intrigue would be, I don't think there was any television back then. Your entertainment would be theatre and books, of course. So the imagination is a fantastic tool. It's a brilliant thing for all sorts, certainly for entertaining yourself, and for fantasy realms to be created, just like outer space, and many things were created by science fiction writers, and then oh, we've got one now, but no, they haven't. Like satellites and space rockets and men from Mars and bullshit. Mars rover bullshit. There's somebody that sussed that out. This chap called oh dear, what's his name now? From the northeast. He does a lot of like detective work. He's kind of independent, I think, but very entertaining. And he gets some good people together, and they form opinions and look over the evidence, and it's all bullshit. The Mars rover thing and men on the moon, all that obviously is bullshit. But they've not been to anywhere because there is no outer space, people. There's no dinosaurs. It's all nonsense.